Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm here. I came into this business and I have no idea what is the rest of that goes with that, but it doesn't matter because we are on. Took a little time, had to upload some things, and well, my computer was not working as fast as it should have. That's okay. We got that under control. Ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing. This is the Amazing Great Sports Network. Wednesday, Sports Wednesday. Should be kind of a short one. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on. Mostly the NBA and the NHL playoffs. The NBA playoffs are tied up 1-1 between the Pacers and the OKC Thunder, which is, I mean, they played Sunday. They played Sunday. We're talking about basketball. We're not talking about football. We're talking about basketball. And we're not even talking about practice. We're talking about basketball. And these guys last played on.
We're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we're talking about practice, not a game.
We are talking about a game, but still, they played Sunday. Today's Wednesday, and I think they're finally going to play today. But then the NHL have already played 3 games, and that's a much tougher sport, a much more contact physical sport than basketball. And they played 3 games, and their fourth one is tonight. So in the time span that the NBA has played 3 games, the NHL will have played 4. Really? Really? That is such a bad look for the NBA. Okay. With that being said, let's get to prayer, and then we can get to the rest of the show. Prayer today, June 11th. Being the servant of the Lord, be gentle. Well, that's what it really is. June 11th, the servant of the Lord must be gentle. That's in 2 Timothy 2:24. And the accompanying word with this is that, however, very few Christians are willing to endure the suffering through which complete gentleness is obtained. Let me say that again. However, very few Christians are willing to endure the suffering through which complete gentleness is obtained. We must die to ourselves before we are turned into gentleness. And crucifixion involves suffering. It will mean experiencing genuine brokenness and a crushing of self, which will be used to afflict the heart and conquer the mind. Yeah, that is Christianity. Breaking yourself down, and being gentle. And we're going to get more into that. I didn't mean but it's going to segue into something else we're going to talk about later. But enough of that. Let's move on to the crux of the show, or the crux of the sports part of the show, which is Brad Marchand. This guy, Brad Marchand, who was traded. I can't even say it, but for all of those who watched him grow up as a Bruin, he's been a player for 16 years now. And watching this guy, he was called the little ball of hate. And you had to love him. He gave you everything. I mean, he gave you everything on the ice. And he only weighs about 180 pounds, 5'9", 180 pounds. It's not even a thick 180 pounds. It's just a wiry 180 pounds. So I'm probably thinking he doesn't even weigh that much. He doesn't really weigh 180 pounds at 5'8", 5'9", probably 5'9" with the skates on. Boy, but this guy here, you wish you had, 10 of them on your team because you would never lose to anyone if you had 10 of these guys on your team. Brad Marchand was that guy. He's one of the smallest guys I've ever seen and one of the toughest guys I've ever seen. I can't describe it, ladies and gentlemen, to watch him game in and game out over the years, tough it out against bigger, stronger, faster guys, and somehow get it done. I was always amazed. He got traded to the Panthers, and this is kind of a tribute to Machi, because in researching, I find out different things about this guy that I'm overwhelmed with. Okay, say he's 5'9". I don't think he is. Born in Hammond Plains, Nova Scotia. One of four children to two hockey coaches. His mother was a hockey coach, and his father was a hockey coach. And if you wonder why he got into so many fights, well, his father was known as a goon in his junior hockey ice years, at one time engaging in 40 fights within a 40-game span. I don't know. I think Brad might have caught him on that. I think Brad sometimes gets into 2 or 3 fights in just one game. Okay. His father collected 358 penalty minutes in one season. So Bradley, Kevin Marchand, his son, began playing hockey at age 2. I don't even know how that is. Maybe they just threw him on the ice and let him slide. Maybe he was the puck. Something like that. I don't know how you began playing hockey at age 2, but let's progress, okay? And he developed an aggressive style from a young age. He remembers being in a fight, yes, in games around age 13 as an outlet for his excessive energy. The following year, that means when he was 14, he hit an opponent with enough force to damage the cage on the player's helmet. I don't see how that is. This guy's not that big. But anyway, Marchand struggled with his temper throughout his childhood. He took anger management classes as an adolescent and as his hockey career progressed. He also began seeing a sports psychologist to address his on-ice frustrations. He has the most overtimes in Bruins history, the most shorthanded goals in Bruins history, the most goals in the playoff elimination game in Bruins history, the fastest postseason overtime goal in Bruins history, the first overtime penalty shot in Bruins history, most suspensions in NHL history, and the most playoffs in Bruins history. And guys, you're going to see what I'm talking about. This guy, I've put a collection of tapes together, and let's see if we can get to it. Come on.
I am Brad Marchand, and this is How To.
Right in the mix with everything.
I just yell as many different things as I can at somebody, and then hopefully one of them makes them mad. You know, someone bites, and then they yell back, and once they do that, I know I got them. And then I keep going. And then they get annoyed, and then my coach gets annoyed, and then the rest get annoyed, and I get a penalty.
Chance at the run at Gostisbehere, and he got a piece of him.
His first suspension was for 2 games after elbowing R.J. Umberger in the head. On December 5th, 2011, he was fined $2,500 for slew-footing Matt Niskanen. 1 month later, he was suspended 5 games for low-bridging Sammy Salo. In 2015, he was suspended 2 games for slew-footing Derek Brassard. Later in 2015, Marchand was fined $5,000 for roughing Gabriel Landeskog. 1 month later, he was suspended 3 games for clipping Mark Borowiecki. In January of 2017, Marchand was fined $10,000 for tripping Nicholas Kronwall. 3 months later, he was suspended 2 games for spearing Jake Dotchin. In 2018, Marchand was suspended 5 games for elbowing Marcus Johansson. In the same year, he was fined $5,000 for cross-checking Andrew McDonald. In 2021, Marchand was suspended 3 games for slew-footing Oliver Ekman-Larsson. In 2022, he was suspended 6 games for roughing, then high-sticking Tristan Jarry.
Hey! You're gonna get it! You wait! You're I'm coming after you! You're I'm gonna We're good. Keep your head up tonight, kid. You started it. Cross-check me to the throw. You're getting it now. Get it. Let's go. Me and you. Let's go. Me and you. Anytime you want. I like it. I love it.
Shot, and then Brad Marchand going for a change, and
It doesn't matter what side they
Yeah,
are.
he's not wrong. I've hated him. We skated together in the summer, and I've hated him for a long time, so that's not going to change now.
It sucked. I wasn't happy for him. He's a rat, and I wasn't too happy.
But he's been a great addition, not only for that, but like he is such a good player, and people don't really see it too much. Like I get to see it every day, whether it's the games or practice. Like he is so skilled and so strong on the puck. And then, like you said, about him fitting in culturally, like I get he was a perfect Boston Bruin for a long time, but I don't know. He's almost born to be a Florida Panther the way he is, like on and off the ice. So we're very happy to have him.
Yeah, it feels like with the way your team is built, it is a perfect relationship, and the fact that the Bruins traded him there, I think, has made a lot of the Bruins fans go, "What are we doing?" So we're just sending the guy to make the champs even better, who would be perfect for them.
Man, you guys are fun to watch. That might be the biggest fan here.
Way to go, boys.
Job, Sid.
Nasty 8-7.
Yeah. Risky play there at the end, 8-7. Okay, between the legs, back to our zone, not a big deal.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, not a big deal. Gosh, Brad. He's that guy. I don't know how to put it. Brad Marchand. What a joy to watch. I guess and the joy to play with. It's bringing tears to my eyes. I'm going to tell you that much. Yeah, and that's the intensity he brought. Brad Marchand. Nothing like him. There's been plenty of players that have been rough. You got Ty Domi. You saw Marchand locked up with his son. But none that could score. I mean, none with the finesse and the scoring ability and the puck handling ability. And this guy's not the fastest. No. But I guarantee you put a puck on the stick and all of a sudden that speed gets amped up 5 or 10 miles faster. Yeah, he's hard to catch. Congratulations, Brad. I really, yeah, we're wondering here. No, we're not. We're not wondering here in Boston. We know that the Bruins is a junior organization. It's good to see you with the real team, doing real things with real other players that match, your intensity and the things you give. It's good to see that you're surrounded by players that are on your level, if not better, because that never happened here. Okay. They never surrounded you with those type of players, with what you have then. And give Florida all the credit in the world for going out and making the trade, even though you're 37 years old, saying, we want this guy, identifying the need and going after it, which is what they did. And they did a good job of it. Okay. That's it for you, Brad. We're going to move on. No longer breaking news. You are now traded to the Panthers. You are in the Stanley Cup Finals, and you're up 2 games to 1, of which you have 3 goals. Okay, we're going to move on to another subject. And you know what? As I'm looking at this, I'm going to see if I can pull up something that we can, as a picture, some sort of image, so that everyone has an idea of, wow. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I can definitely do that. Unbelievable. Talking about the LA riots and what happened last week. Okay, things were burned. Stores were looted. Nancy Pelosi claimed the LA riot violence was due to the exuberance of the moment. It lasted for 2 days. Smoke, fires, looting. Gosh, ladies and gentlemen, really disgusting. But there it was. We experienced it. We saw it. It happened. Oops, got something on the chat. Let me get this. Hello, sir. I'm doing well. Marchand. Oh, yeah. Proving once again why he's one of the more grittiest and clutch players. And this guy has it right. Nurse Rat Lena. Okay. Gosh, Bangladesh lost the match against Singapore. What? Oh, Okay. All right. Listen. Calm down. Calm down, dude. Let me calm down. They lost 2-1. 2-1. Oh gosh, and that is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking for me. See what we can do about that. We're going to be covering. I will. The AGSN, American Great Sports Net, will cover Bangladesh as they go forward or backwards, whichever one it is. We're going to stick with them. As heartbreaking as it is. And yes, Marchand is one of the most grittiest clutch performers in his leadership. Wish we had someone like that on the Bangladesh soccer football team. We could use a Marchand on that team right now. Right now. Whip these people into shape, get them going in a frenzy, frothing at the mouth, ready to, break legs and lay havoc. Okay. But yeah. Oh, what was I talking about? I was talking about the LA riots. And ladies and gentlemen, pretty disgusting what we saw there. And the rationalization of it by Pelosi and Gavin Newsom and other people. And I know it's confusing. And I know it's crazy. And I know many of you are wondering, what the heck is going on here? So I'm going to tell you what is going on. I know what's going on. And it's their job to try to cover up what's going on. So let's all break it down. Let's get to it. All Americans should know what's going on. Even the ones who think that these guys are doing this for them. I'm going to tell you what's really going on. In the meantime, let's take a look at this. Take a look at that. As the fires are burning, there is somebody looting in the fires, okay? But last week, we watched in horror as so-called protesters attacked ICE agents in Los Angeles, forcing the president to call out the National Guard and the Marines to restore order. Ladies and gentlemen, these so-called protests are not organic community protests. No, they're not. They are coordinated, organized, and funded attacks on your government and you. Yes, you, the American people. You see, they're not attacking ICE agents because they love the American people. They are doing it because the American people are the problem. After 100 years of backstabbing, cheating, lying, and propagandizing you while controlling the media, your schools, and a good part of your government, you still willingly have not submitted. You will not roll over and play dead. You won't buy into the socialist utopian dream of alcohol, androgyny, atheism, drugs, movies, music, and sex. Yes, that's what we're given to placate us. Alcohol, androgyny, atheism, drugs, movie, music, sex, as they run the government and steal all the money they can and have control over your life and your children's life. In their world, the utopian dream, a world of no rules and no morality, the American public, black, Hispanic, and white, came together and they stood up and elected Donald J. Trump. Yeah. The LA riots are their response to Americans selecting Donald J. Trump. Have you guys ever heard of the black shirts of Mussolini's Italy or the brown shirts of Hitler's Germany? They were organized and funded. Organized and funded socialist goon squads. Well, these are the same. Less than a month after Trump was elected, the Democrats began running ads in which they were advocating fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. What are they talking about? Nobody knew what they were talking about. The general public had no idea what they were talking about. Fight what? And since when does an American political party advocate violence? Certainly, nobody did that when Biden was in office. Nobody did that when Barack Obama. The conservatives, Republicans didn't do that when Barack Obama was in office. They didn't say start, tearing up things and bombing places and beating people up because you disagree with whatever Clinton or Obama or Biden said. Nobody's ever advocated that. Nobody, ladies and gentlemen. No one. You see, but they were grooming you for the violence to come. The Democrat Party are not engineers of what happened in LA. They're more like the stepping fetchits. They do what they're told. They, along with ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, provide cover for what is done. Their job is to persuade you that the Los Angeles riots is and was an organic gathering of concerned citizens, not a coordinated socialist insurrection funded by outside sources. That's the job, to convince you of that. Just like when they told you Joe Biden was perfectly fine while we watched him defecate himself during a diplomatic meeting as he got up on stage and started walking around and went into a crunch that resembles when you go to the bathroom because he was in his diaper right there. But they told us that was right-wing conspiracy, that was fake news, it was tricks, video tricks, and all of that sort. Yes, that's what they told us. And, we were supposed to believe it. As you see this guy pushing that carriage along with whatever else is in that carriage. This is more of the same, ladies and gentlemen. That's organic community protesting, according to the Democrats. Well, the American black and brown shirts of today are the Public Allies Organization. You're saying, what? Who? You didn't know about them, did you? The Public Allies Organization? Yeah. See, they were organized and they began recruiting back in Clinton's first term. Bill Clinton rubber-stamped it, as he was supposed to do. The Obamas, Michelle and Barack, even ran the Chicago chapter of the organization before Barack was elected president. They have been building their numbers and strengths for 30 years. They started flexing their muscle back in Trump's first term as Antifa. They went around, beat people up. You had to chase them from state to state. The FBI wouldn't work with Trump to chase him down because, the FBI was still in the hands of, the party they were in the hands of. Even though Trump was president, they were not tracking down anybody in Antifa. So Antifa beat up 50 to 100. I don't even know how many people in different various demonstrations, protests. They had from state to state. They're funded. They're coordinated. They pay for their traveling expenses. And you may saw them. They're also the people that went with Kamala Harris. Whenever she went to a state to have a rally, buses, 20 to 40 buses pulled up. Yeah, those people. They're paid to be there. They're paid to vote. They're paid to do whatever they're told to do. Well, they started flexing the numbers. They also were the goon squads during the Black Lives Matter riots. That's right. The people that were rioting were not, tearing up things were not black people in the Black Lives Matter riots. I mean, they would come in and look like you saw that guy pushing that carriage, but the people who were burning cars and turning things over, they were wearing masks and they looked white. Okay? Now, public allies, they are taught public activism, or to be more specific, public disruption, as it is stated on the website. Public Allies is dedicated to disrupting systems. They advocate atheism, alternative lifestyles, transgenderism. They wear masks, throw Molotov cocktails and sharp metal objects and assault anybody they want to or anyone they can. The ones in LA are no more Mexican than they were black in the Black Lives Matter riots. No, maybe 15% at the most. They are funded by the usual George Soros NGOs. And he has about 50 of them, unbeknownst to you. Even the people that are on the Democrat side of the aisle. You have no idea that George Soros funds all of these NGOs as well as the Democrat Party. Soros also funds socialist storefronts that masquerade as bastions of American values, such as the ACLU, the NCAACP, and the National Organization of Women. And if you ever read their websites, you start wondering, what are they talking about? Is this really about women? Is this really about families? Is this really about black people? Oh, it's about some socialist utopian dream of, you can't even make it out. So go ahead and read it. Stop taking anybody's word that these storefront organizations stand for what they're supposed to stand for. Those things are just an acronym. And and ACW, American Civil Liberties Union. Nothing American about it. It's always been a communist union from the time it was started by communists, which is atheism, the abolition of Christianity. Oh yeah, they've been going at this since the 20s, so that's why it's at the 100 years. Okay, ACLU, NCAACP, National Organization of Women, in turn support the Democrat Party with votes and people on the streets, bodies, and so that's all great. Soros supports those; they support the Democrats, and it was all set up that he would get his money back. Okay, it would be kicked back to him from a Democrat Party slush fund. Say hello to USAID. That's right, USAID, which was going fine until Donald Trump was reelected and Elon Musk took a sledgehammer to it and public allies, cutting their funds. Bam! Did you hear that thud? Yeah. Yeah, public allies got their funding slashed, cut, eliminated. So, put two and two together. Because that's what this fight is about, ladies and gentlemen. President Trump is eliminating government kickbacks to the richest man in the world, George Soros. Yes, I know. ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, the New York Times, the LA Times, and all of them, they claim that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, but he's not. George Soros is and has been for the past 50 years. Gosh. And you guys, even on the Democrat side of the aisle, don't even know this because they keep it from you. He's been supporting all of the protests, the climate protests, he funds those. They're all in his pocket. Greta Thunberg, whatever, what was she, 9 years old and traveling all talking about climate? Yeah, that was her. Occupy, yeah, Soros, Occupy Wall Street, Soros funded those. Occupy Seattle, Soros funded that. You guys have no idea. Do you guys really think that any of this happens without money? I know that CNN and ABC and CBS and PBS and all the rest of them never mention it. As if these people are just living on thin air. They're getting their source of nutrition out the sky, and they're just living without eating or drinking or needing any money. But you do know that's impossible. It's being funded. All of these protests are being funded. And if they're being funded on mass levels, such as in different states, they are massively funded, organized, and coordinated. So that's what this fight is about. Trump is eliminating government kickbacks to the richest men in the world. Musk is not the richest man. Soros is. But he was, even though he's rich, he still wanted a kickback for his money. So these coordinated attacks have nothing to do with illegal aliens or saving America from tyranny. It's CNN and MSNBC like the blather, 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 save it from tyranny as they are burning cars and destroying Teslas and beating up people as they are. That's right. MSNBC, they're part of it. They do the cover. They know exactly what I'm saying. If this is news to you, it should be, for anybody who watches NBC, any of those network stations that support the Democrat Party, if what I'm saying is news to you, it's crazy because these guys are in bed with them, which means they've kept it totally away from you. You have no idea that it's been happening. They've been doing this the whole time. They've been doing this since the 90s. They're keeping it a secret from you that they're all in bed. And that Soros funds all of this stuff. It's amazing. So, you've been kept in the dark. They don't want you to know. So these attacks are against you too, because you have no idea that they're behind it. It has to do with George Soros being cut out of his slush fund known as the American government. It has to do with when Soros says jump, the Democrats ask, how high do you want me to cover for this? And that's what happened. But ladies and gentlemen, it's really not about politics. It is in a sense, but really politics is the fallen state. Let's ask, how did we get here? We got here because you've been misled out of your spirituality, ladies and gentlemen, out of a relationship with God. I know this sounds so trite. God's going to take care of politics. But ladies and gentlemen, look at this board. See, envy. See this acronym, XLAP. EGGSLAP. XLAP stands for envy, gluttony, greed, sloth, lust, anger, pride. Now notice anger also has resentment and judgment, which means even though it's the acronym anger, you could say resentment. Even though it says pride, you could say judgment, because that's what they bring. Now I want you to know that all of these things that are say that they're saving you from tyranny, all of the pride movement, pride, 7 deadly sins. Did you know that you were embracing a sin when you embrace pride? Did you? No, you didn't. You've been purposely misled. So think of sins as an evil that takes up residence in a person's body, mind, or souls, that separates them from God. Separates you so that you are more involved into bad things than good things. Hold on to that, okay? America has been purposely divided by ethnicity, gender, and race. Based upon these divisions, you have been assigned identification values, so that you are told that your sins, you're not, they are not sins. What you are embracing are values. Yeah, by definition, they changed it around, sort of like the American Civil Liberties Union, which is really American Communist Union. They're going to give it a different name, and when they give it a different name, you're not supposed to realize what they're really saying. So these values, let me give you an example. If you are a white American woman, your identification values are to resent and envy white men, specifically white men. This is the strangest thing. Why not all men? I don't know why, but specifically white men. The men who have given you their lives to make a world that gives you privileges and rights afforded no other women in the world. That's right. That's right. You're supposed to hate these guys who have built these magnificent cities and invented cars and trains and planes and wash machines and dryers and dishwashers and vacuum cleaners. You're supposed to hate them. They are just evil. Evil. Yet it's you who embrace these values of envy, judgment. Envy's hate, So you're hating them. Okay, let's move on. There's more. Black Americans. Black Americans are supposed to envy, hate, resent, be angry with white Americans, the very people who gave their lives to free Black Americans from slavery. That's right. It wasn't Black people that freed Black people from slavery. It was white people that freed Black people from slavery. In fact, it wasn't Black people that freed America or Africa out of slavery. It wasn't. No, it was white Christians that ended slavery in America and ended slavery in Africa. As a result, Black Americans have a higher standard of living than 90% of the world, and yet they are still complaining, just like the white females, that something is wrong. We have to hate, envy, hate, resent. And when they get you to take these as values, what you're doing is you're bringing in sin. Now, even if you don't believe in sin, okay, there's a spiritual law that you should know about. That when you embrace one sin, others will follow. So I've noticed that the people who have a lot of envy and which is hate, and resentment, which is anger and pride, which is judgment. They have a lot of obesity or gluttony, lust of every perversion of lust. They have a lot of things that come with it, a lot of judgment. So, there's a lot that comes with this and the spiritual laws that you don't know about. But if you keep going in this direction, okay, of ingesting these as values, pretty soon you don't know what a woman is. And if you do, you can't say it because you'll be shunned. Yeah, you'll be shunned by your so-called friends. Now, the highest command of Christianity is love the Lord God with all of your heart, your soul, and love thy neighbor as yourself. But to understand what that really means you have to read the Bible. That's right. You have to read the Bible to understand the fundamentals of what love and what love is founded on. Otherwise, you're going to be given the mantra, love is love, which purposely is intended to misdirect you into a stance of anything goes. But hello, if anything goes, if there is no right or wrong, well, one does not have the right to exist. I can say your existence impedes on my right to happiness. Or you can say that my existence impedes on your right to happiness, and you have the obligation to remove that impediment. Or I would have the moral obligation and evaluation to remove that impediment so that I can be happy. That's not the way. See? So, no, love is not meant to be used in that manner or any way that you want it to. There's stances that have to come with that. Okay? Personal love or loving thy neighbor is a uniquely Christian ideal that is not found in Buddhism, Islam, or Judaism. But still, loving thy neighbor. To use the word love, you need to understand what it applies to and what it does not apply to. If you do not read the Bible to understand what the word love means, you will be set up to hate. Yeah, yeah, you're going to hate. And the people that you're going to hate most are those who actually know what love is, who are fundamentally sound in what love is. You're going to hate those people more than anyone else because they're not going to agree with you. So, how we got here? We got here because there are forces out there actively trying to separate you from God, using the 7 deadly sins of envy, gluttony, greed, sloth, lust, and violence. And resentment, pride, and judgment. Okay, they're well organized and funded. They will use violence. They want to beat America down into a confused and confounded pack of sheep. So this is the moment that America needs to unite under God. And not only America, the world. That's right, they're coming for you too. They want you to believe in craziness or whatever, nihilism is what they used to call it, which is atheism. Oh yeah, don't let it confuse you, Islamists. They're going to try to push that on you, and Buddhists, yeah, they're going to try to push it on you. They want to take down the most powerful country that has been under the leadership and been heralded by Christianity, which is the United States of America. So they're trying to do it here, but I think we all have to unite. This is the time, okay? So let this attempt at chaos and confusion spur you to accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior. I'm talking about Americans. We'll get into the other stuff later, but for America, to accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior and to remove the 7 deadly sins from your life. I have a Bible study every other Sunday at 6 p.m. If you are interested, I'll put a Zoom link in the YouTube of this. I'll put a Zoom link on the website. All you have to do is click in it on Sunday at 6 p.m. and, well, you can start learning. And the more you learn, whether you become a Christian or not, I guarantee you, your life will be better. Okay? We don't force subscription of adherence. We want you to learn it, see if you like it. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, Well, we tried, but let's do a better job. Let's make America godly again. As Bryson Gray would say, make America godly again. You can say MAGA, M-A-G-A, but let's make America godly again, and that will make America great again. That's my show for today for you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we'll stick to sports, but we are a spiritual show, and we try to get things into a spiritual perspective because we only here a short time. That's right, 50, 60, 70 years at the most, and then we're gone. We're moving on to another plane. And one of the biggest lies they would tell you is that, no, it ends here. Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't end here. If that's the case, it couldn't have begun here. I mean, you came into this body, and when this body is no longer functional, you're going to have to leave it. Let me check my chat before I sign off and just see if there's anything I can answer. Yes, I will check I'm sure I checked my email. COVID is spreading on Asia side. U.S. government should alert this and take the necessary steps. Okay, here we see. This is what happens when you have international friends. Okay, they keep you up because see, we're all in this soup together. They're trying to cook us all. All right, they're trying with the COVID. If you don't take the vaccination, then you're going to lose your job. And the people that took the vaccination got sick and got heart attacks. Yes. And we know some basketball players got heart attacks. A lot of people died already. Oh my gosh, the terror stories are unbelievable. The horror stories are unbelievable. And thank you, Simran. Thank you, Simran. I will be on it. Thank you for letting me know that. And a stark reminder how deeply divided, emotionally charged immigration debate is coming to America. I wouldn't say that because they're not really the American people they were paid for. They were paid miscreants, people paid to burn and destruct things, pretending that they were Mexican. I doubt if 15% of those people were Mexican. That's why they were wearing masks as they did what they did. But they were waving their Mexican flag and painted Mexican colors on them. But no, I doubt they were Mexican. Okay, I'm going to check my email. Email me again because I'm sure I checked my email. I must have not seen whatever that you wanted me to see, and I will take care of that. Throughout history, Black Americans have had to fight not just for justice, but for recognition of their humanity. Too often, the pain has been ignored and minimized, especially those in positions. Well, it's a tough road. I would say everybody has had to fight for justice in every country. Whether you're a white American or a Black American here, you're going to have to fight for justice. And whether you're in another country, Bangladesh, India, you're going to have to fight for justice. Justice is just not given. The world is a tough world. And it seems like there's a lot more bad people than good in too many places and too many times. So let's all band together to stand up and fight for justice. Let's make this a worldwide thing. And let's have a fundamental idea what love is. Love thy neighbor. Love, a person, even if they disagree with you. It doesn't mean burn their house down. These are things that we have to come on the same page with. And this is the reason why you might like attending a Bible study, no matter what religion you are. There's some things that you could learn from Christianity. Now, whether you want to become a Christian or not is up to you. But there's some fundamental things that have propelled America to its place of prominence that lies underneath this, that everyone should get a gander at, should be able to observe. And the truth of it, not disseminated from somebody who wants you to hate or wants to corrupt you in a certain way so that you see whatever it is in a certain way. Unvarnished, what's right in that Bible, whatever it says, is going to be said. So remember, our Bible study every other Sunday at 6 p.m. If you're interested, I will leave a link so you can click in, and feel free to click in and just say, hey, Just announce yourself. You don't even have to be on camera. Just feel free to click in and listen and participate as you see that you want to. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure to be here. I have talked to you. Don't give me a mic. I just have too much fun. I love you all, and peace, happiness, and health for all of you. Take care. Enjoy your life, and really kiss the people that you love today, because tomorrow's not promised. That's all I have to say. Take care.